Well, hello, welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. My name is Paul Courtright. Please feel free to share, subscribe, and like. And let's get this channel to grow some more. Today, we're going to make my wife's Valentine's present. What we're doing is we're going to make not a bird feeder, but a feeder that the birds can use to make nests with. So what it is basically I drew this out, kind of the idea I had. So we're going to make I don't know if you want to call it a nesting feeder. Let's go with that. That sounds good. A nesting feeder. So this is going to be my wife's Valentine's present. And I thought since she's a bird watcher, I got her the bird feeder with a camera in it, the Bird Buddy, a couple years ago for Christmas, and she really loves that. She watches the birds and all that. So I thought this time I would do something that she could use to hang out, and birds can come along and pick the stuff out of it and go build nests with it, and I thought she'd enjoy that. So that being said, let's get started on today's project. So this is my kind of an idea, and we're going to just kind of work through it as we go. And so be prepared for some mistakes and rethinking and stopping and thinking, that don't look right, and all this good stuff. So that's all the part of the process. So this is a first time project for me. I have never done this, and so this ought to be interesting. We're going to work through it together. So hang tight and let's get started. All right, so basically what we got to do first is I got this piece of plastic here. I want to make a pattern. And so what I want to do is figure out how big to make this piece that goes with this. And I got these two pieces of reclaimed lumber here that we're going to use. So I need a tape measure. I got my marker. And thinking this is like 5.5 inches wide, which is close to what this is. So that'll work perfectly. And I'm thinking I'm going to make it probably 8 inches tall total. So take this piece of plastic here, and we're going to mark out roughly 8 inches on this. Probably somewhere in this range here. Grab the marker that's dead. Okay, well that one will go into the trash. Grab a different one. All right, here we go. All right. Got a red one here. All right. So somewhere right in there is what we've got. So I'm going to go cut this on the bandsaw to that length, and then we'll get started on that. So hang tight. All right. So first of all, we got to cut our pattern out. So I want to get this to be somewhat uniform here. And I apologize if I get into doing something and you can't see what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to stay focused here. So what I'm going to do, all right, so if I'm going to move you around here, hang on, don't get seasick on me. All right, so if I stay in that general area, they're good. All right, so what I want to do, it's roughly the size. I want to make this in kind of like a heart shape, so we're going to go something like this. That's not bad. Refine that just a little bit. Might have to go bigger. I don't know. Like I said, this is I still don't like that one. Hang tight. Let me get another piece of paper and we'll recut it. All right, let's try this again. So basically what I want to do is That might work. It's not bad. That'll work. That'll work. All right, so I need to lay this on here. So we want to create a pattern. So let's see, this will be the center. Something like that. That might work. All right, hang tight. Let's go over to the bandsaw and cut it out. All right, we're going to cut this out. All right, so I got my basic pattern that I want. So let's go back over to the bench. All right, so basically what I want to do, I want to cut two pieces out that are similar to this. Two pieces out similar to this. So I want to lay this out. And then, okay. Here and here. Go here and here. I'm not liking that too well. Let's do it again. Hang tight. We're going to do it again. All right, so I got my piece here. I cut this out again. Didn't like the first one. Like I said, this is going to be a trial and error type thing. I've never done one of these, so it's better. I'm going to come back down here just a little bit more. Bring this down here. Seems to me a little bit too tall. I don't know why. So we're going to cut it down a little bit more. That looks a little better. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, cut this out. I cut this off, so I got to recut a piece of plastic here. Hang tight. All right, we got our piece of plastic here. We're going to cut out our heart. Like I said, this is a trial and error thing. We're figuring it out as we go. All right, I'm going to go around. I'm going to cut that out with the bandsaw, and I'll be right back. All right, so we got our pattern cut out here. Now what we want to do is cut this out. Okay. And I think All right. And I want to come in just a hair on this. So I'll come in, say 3/4 of an inch on this. Yeah. Let's see. I do 3/4, about a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Mm-hmm. This don't have to be perfect. All right. I'm going to use a few different tools today. That might work. Yeah, that's the ticket. All right, let's go cut this out on the bandsaw, and then we'll cut the center out with our scroll saw. Hang tight. All righty. Let's head over to the scroll saw. All right, so I got my heart cut out. I got a hole drilled in it. Now we're going to take our scroll saw, put our blade in. I got a pretty good blade in this, good sized blade, so it should cut pretty easily. All right. I like using this scroll saw. It's pretty fun. I used to do a lot more scroll saw projects than I used to. You could probably use a saber saw on this. I just thought I'd use the scroll saw on it. Got our heart cut out. So we got that part cut out. All right, so let's come back over here to the bench and let's see what we can do next. Hang tight. All right, so that's that part of it. Now the next part is going to come up like that, and I need to cut a piece that's going to go around this way. So what I need to do is make a piece out of that. So let me grab my scrap pieces here that I've got. And I'm thinking, yeah, put that kind of like that. Tape measure. Let's do this. We're going to use this whole space here. So what we're going to figure is this is, let's just go 4 inches. So 2 inches in. So 2 inches in on both sides. And this will go in the middle. Something like that. I guess it's all right. And so I want to go something like that. Okay, so then I want to go cut across here right where that crack is, get rid of that, and we'll cut that out. Let's go over to the bandsaw and we'll cut that out. Actually, I'm going to make that a little bit more round. Find something I can hang tight. Let me find something a little bit more round. Perfect. A roll of tape. So just going to mark it. So I'm going to cut that right there. Like that. And then we'll cut this straight across from there. Make a straight line. And we'll cut that like right there. All right. So let's go over and cut that on a bandsaw, and then we'll cut that out and we'll be right back. Oh, guess I should mark that out. Okay, 1/2 inch. So we want it there. There. Okay. So we're going to put this, yeah, it's a little bit small. All right, so we're just going to freehand this. Something like that. That's what we want. So let's go over to the bench or the bandsaw, we'll cut that out. Make 2 of them. All right, so first of all, let's cut this round. Now we're going to cut this off here. And we're going to cut this out. All right, let me grab my heart here, and let's see if this can work. I think it'll work. That's what she's going to look like right there. All right, so we're going to make another one just like it. I'll grab my pencil, and we'll trace that out and cut that one out. All righty. All right, cut this one out. Get rid of my scrap. All right, we got our two pieces here that we need. Let's go back to the bench. And all right, so we got these two pieces here. They'll go right there, like so. Okay, I need my pencil again. And put a mark there, 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 and there. And we'll have to drill a hole there, because this will go on the other side, and we'll drill a hole in there. These two pieces will be glued onto that, like so. All right, so let's drill our hole. We got to drill a lot of holes. Yeah. All right, let me grab the drill and we'll be right back. All right, so what I need to do is drill 2 holes here and here for starters. And get me a piece of wood I can drill into. So I want to drill all right. And I got this little 1/4-inch dowel here that we're going to use. I need a couple pieces that are, it's 3/4 of an inch. So if I go about 3/16 on both sides. So if I go 1.5 inches, I'll be good. So let me cut 2 pieces 1.5 inches long. Hang tight. All right, I got this. This will go in there. Yeah, that's the ticket. That'll go in there. And these will go on top of that. Sure. Now comes the fun part. We got to drill 2 holes in this. All right, how do I do that? Very carefully. Let's mark these. So if I put that up there like so, that one like that. Let me get a punch here. All right. Okay. So I'm going to drill 2 holes. Like that. Like I said, this is something I'm just kind of figuring out as I go. Might have to go deeper on that. Yeah. Like that. That one will go here. Yep. That's what I was afraid of because I seen it was cracked. So we might have to make a new one of these. Let's try the other one first. Might have to make a new one. That's all right. That's what we thought. Hey, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. That's the way I look at it. Ready? Let's see if it fits. Now I'll make another one exactly the same. Put my little sticks in there. Little dowels in there. Put that there. Look at that. That's one side of it right there. All right, let's make a new one of these because this one here broke, which I seen it was a little bit of a crack when I was drilling it, and I figured it might. So let me cut this one out, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. We got our new piece made. Gonna show you kind of what it's looking like here. This is actually turning out pretty good, I think. Get it together here. There, look at that. It worked. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So that's the main part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, do a little sanding, and then I'll be right back, and we'll cut our holes for our wires, and we'll be putting our wire together. Hang tight. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this together. So I'm going to glue my pins in first. So I got me a little thick CA glue. Put a little thick CA glue in the hole. Take my dowel and push it through. Spray a little activator on it. There it is. Do the same thing to the other side. Not taking very much. Stick my dowel through. That's about even. Spray a little activator on that. And put our pieces on here. Yep. All right, put a little bit more CA glue on this. Put some down in the hole. And put it on the face of this. Do the same thing on this side. Some on the outer edge. Take my piece here, spray a little activator on that, and I'll put this on there, like so. Push it on there, and she's glued in now. Cool. Do the same thing to the other side now. Put a little CA glue in the hole. Some on the face of it. Put some over here. And put some up on top. Spray a little activator on it. And right there. Push the two together, and there she be. We'll spray a little activator on it, make sure it's... There we go. So there's our piece there. So there's that. Now, the next thing we got to do is we got to cut some wires, because I want to put a piece of wire from here to here to here. And the wire that I'm going to use just so happens to be a coat hanger. Yes, sir, Bob. It's going to be a coat hanger. So I got to get my cutter out here, and I'm just going to cut off this part here, get rid of it, and we'll straighten out this end here. All right, so now we need to, let's straighten this out too. There. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to drill a hole from here through there and into there. So let me get my drill and I'll be right back. All right, here we are. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drill a hole through here in the center of that, straight through to the other side. So get you over here. I'm going to do it right off the edge of the bench here. Put one right in the middle. And I'm going to do one here in the middle. One here. One here. All right, so we got our little holes there. I'll take my wire and I'm going to fish it through this hole. Push it through there. I guess I should probably cut it to length first. Thought maybe I'd be able to do it all the way around in one piece. Let's try it with one piece all the way around. Let's try one piece all the way around. Let's see what we can come up with. Got to get these little kinks out of here. Like I said, this is kind of a brainstorm idea here. Hopefully it works. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I think I'm going to drill me a bigger hole. Hang tight. Let me grab a bigger bit. All right, so we're gonna leave that one the same size as it is, but we're gonna drill this one bigger. Maybe we will. All right. All right, so now let's see if we can fish that through that hole a little easier. Oh yeah, yeah, that's what we wanted. Fish this right through that hole a little bit easier. Okay. Guess maybe I should have put these together before I put this together. Hey, live and learn, right? Right. Live and learn, people. There she goes. That's what we want. I'm going to go right down into this one. All right. Let's see. It's coming. It's got a little bit further to go. A little bit more. Mm-hmm. All right, got her in there. Now this one's got to go in there, so I'm going to cut it right about there. And we'll push that right into there. As you can see, it's a little tough. There. Looks pretty good. Got too much, well, it'll be all right. And then we'll put that in there. Bring this up just a hair. There we are. A little bit more over here. There. Pretty close. Pretty close to what I'm looking for. All right, so that's what we want so far. So far, so good. All right, hang tight, and I'm going to clean up my bench a little bit, and then we'll get me some chicken wire, and we'll be about done. All right, so we got our chicken wire here. Just got a piece of scrap chicken wire. What I want to do is line the inside of this with this chicken wire. So how much am I going to need? Question. So I'm thinking if I just kind of roll this around to here, and that'll give me an idea. So I'm going to cut it right here. I can always cut it off, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Let me grab a different pair of cutters. All right. So I'm thinking, like I said, this is a thought process here. I'm going to cut it like right here. Go across. I'm going to cut this off and then I'll be right back. All right, so we got our piece cut out. So basically we got to cut this and stick this inside there. Yes, it's going to be a challenge. So I am going to, see, that's why I said this is kind of a thought process for it to do it. And I'm going to use the top. Bring that around like so. Yeah. All right. Let me get rid of some of this excess here. Hopefully I don't cut too much off. All right. So now, got that. Okay, now comes the fun part. We got to stick this inside of that. So let's get our wire out of the way so it don't tangle up with me. All right, and then we're going to stick that in there. So, how are we going to do this? All right, hang tight. Let me figure this out and I'll be right back. All right, so what I had to do, because I can't get that screen in there, I had to cut this piece off and I'm going to re-drill it and put new dowels in it and put it back together again. So that's what I've got to do. So hang tight and we'll get figured out. All right, so what I figured out was I had to take this off to get this in there. So we're going to fish this through there first and get this in place, and then we're going to glue that other piece back on there. So hopefully we can get this in there. That's the plan anyway. So I'm just going to kind of shove this down in there. And I'm thinking if somebody had a 3D printer, they could probably 3D print all this and do all that with a 3D printer versus what I'm trying to do. But I got to be difficult, I guess. You know, got to be dare to be different, as they would say. I thought this would be an easy project, but it's turning into a little bit more of a challenge than what I thought, but actually it's kind of interesting to figure it out. It may not turn out as perfect as I would like, but nevertheless, I don't think that the birds will really care. They'll be more interested in the cotton balls that I put in it for their nesting material. I don't think they'll really care, but we're going to find out. And I seen these online. Forget where it was that I seen it, but a wildlife website has these for sale. And I thought, well, shoot, I can build one of them pretty easily. Well, not as easy as I thought. And it probably won't look as nice as the one if I was to buy it. See? All right, let me keep messing with this until I get it in place, and then we'll be right back. All right, so we made shift to get that in there. Now I got my other piece here, and we'll glue that onto there. And then we'll rearrange the screen. And I think we'll be pretty close to being done. This has been an interesting project to figure out. Like I said, I mean, it's never done this before. I thought this would be I thought it would be an easy one to do, but obviously it's not turned into quite the challenge, to be honest with you. But I'm up for a challenge now and then. I didn't get too frustrated with it not working out because I knew that this was something new and different, and not everybody is going to do something like this. So I just thought, well, this is the way we'll do it. So I got that on there, put that in there, glued it in. There. So now we'll just kind of rearrange this a little bit more. All right. All right. So that's what it's supposed to look like. I don't think it actually looks too bad. You know? I'll rearrange this a little bit, and let me grab some cotton balls and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. We'll put a screw in the top to hang it, and we'll be right back. Hang tight. I forgot we got to put our wire back in over top of this. This will help from pulling that out. As you can see, I'm doing the same thing I did before, fishing it through. Alrighty. Let me do that because you're not seeing what I'm doing, so hang tight. All right, let's finish this off. So basically what I did was I put me an eye in the top of it, put a chain on it, and then I just take, and to fill it, just take your cotton ball, pull it apart a little bit, and just stuff them inside there. Just stuff it inside like so. So just kind of fill it up with cotton balls. And if you got the save the cotton that comes in like a pill bottle, that works just as well too. These are just cotton balls here. I'm just going to shove them in there. And I'll show you. Just got to fill it. And you can fill it with cotton balls or take cloth, put in there. suppose you could put some sticks in there if you wanted to too. Take an old towel, rag, whatever, cut it up in little strips and put it in there and just shove it in the holes, and birds come along and pick it out. So I don't know, I think it's kind of cute. Didn't turn out exactly like I was hoping, but you know, this is my first attempt doing it, and I thought it was kind of an interesting project. If I had to do it again, I'd probably make it twice the size, make it life easier for me. But nevertheless, it was an interesting project. Feel free to leave me some thoughts, comments, suggestions on how to redo it. Maybe I'll make a new one and go from there. But for the time being, I thought it was kind of a cute little Christmas or Valentine's present. You know, we'll go from there. I could paint it red, and we'll go from there. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. Please feel free to share, subscribe, like, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Leave me a few comments and let me know what your thoughts are on this project. Have a good night.